Can he make a miracle happen? It is Lambo. Will he go Rambo?
And in the bottom left, in the blue, the greatest foreigner to ever touch this game. He is from Sweden, Serral.
From Sweden?
I'm sorry, not from Sweden. It's fine. From Finland. They're all the same Nordic. Okay, I'm gonna make a lot of people mad. I understand there's a difference. It's fine.
Oh man. Yeah, definitely a polarizing thing, I'm sure.
Well,
I'm sure
technically,
there's
part of Sweden and part of Finland are north of the polar line. So yes, it is polarizing.
Cool. Yeah. We're gonna be getting into a ZVZ here. ZVZ, crazy matchup, fun matchup, a matchup where planning and having a specific build to target your opponent can really pay dividends. And we saw it last season with Lambo, who was able to take down Serral in the playoffs. That's the other thing. Serral, he does not like losing. And even if he likes Lambo as a person, even if they talk a lot, there might be a little bit of kind of sick pleasure of being the one to guarantee Lambo doesn't make playoffs. I don't think Serral is quite that, evil genius, quite that vindictive, villainous. But there might just be the littlest shade of that,
I don't know. It feels like Serral, whenever you watch him, he expects himself to win every single matchup he ever plays. And that actually kind of felt like it was Serral's downfall a little bit when we went online. You started to see him no longer being able to feed off that crowd as much, and we started to see just how frustrated he would get after those losses, because we were able to see webcams eventually as online tournaments increased in their production quality as tools were made. And it just felt like Serral was putting maybe a little bit too much pressure on himself. Much like Lambo suffered from it, except if Serral puts too much pressure on himself, he only makes top 2 or top 3 in a region instead of, what's happening with Lambo. Anyways, Serral, for the most part, it seems like it's much more of a, I expect myself to win, I take pleasure in my own victory, rather than I care about my opponent. I want to put that sick pleasure down. I want to kill him, or I want to end his run. So, I don't know. Serral always seems to be a rather nice guy, super mild-mannered whenever I see him in conversation. But Lambo, absolutely. I mean, he is the mad genius here. He has developed so many builds that have become meta. And, if you hear people talk about how he plays in practice rounds, they would see in scrimmins and on ladder, they say he's terrifying. Doesn't always show that here on stream, but Steadfast, that reminds you of a certain player who we heard for years of the promise of this man tearing up the European ladder. He was a Zerg player, and he was just dominant, but then he would never show his tournament results. Do you know who that player was?
Yeah, it was the craziest thing. I think he might have been from Finland, possibly Una Sotala, something like that. Yeah, Serral. That was how he got his claim to fame. Everyone was saying he was the best player in the world for a very long time before he showed the results. And speaking of which, we have Serral getting a little bit aggressive right here. He's going to get a lot of damage in on this hatchery before the banelings of Lambo got over here. This hatchery is already at about half HP. And meanwhile, Lings, they're going to get into the main base for a full scout. Great move out of Serral. Puts the pressure on. Drones behind this. Oh, look at that citizen's arrest. That was nice.
That it was. But the third base here, for the moment, it will not go on down. We have enough banelings that Lambo, he feels pretty comfortable. But here's the thing. Look at this. Serral, he built his Zerglings first, which means he built his drones first too. Right? He was up on a significant 7-8 worker lead for maybe 1 or 2 cycles. It's fine. But these are the small things. And when we're looking at a mirror matchup, where everyone can build the same amount of stuff, everyone has the option to just do the same thing. If you're able to put yourself up at a worker, Baneling's rolling. The 8 workers go down. Never mind, Lambo's in a fantastic spot.
How did those get in? How did those just get in? They just killed 8 drones. Lambo's up 5 workers right now, and he is droning hard. Lambo just put himself into a fantastic position. That was so big.
Yeah, it's just
I didn't even notice that.
Observers, please. For everyone who's wondering what's happening here today, I'm running production. Steadfast is the observer, so blame him. Anyways, that is a fantastic move here from Lambo. And we were just talking about how Serral is so good at owning the map, at making sure he gets Zerglings in all the time, making sure he knows exactly what his opponent is doing. But I guess he was spending so much time trying to see what his opponent was doing that maybe he missed those Zerglings they rounded in. 2 Banelings were able to get 8 workers. But as you so adroitly do point out, there is no lair here. Yes, both players have +1 underway, but Lambo, he's at 44 army supply to the 17 of his opponent. He is not droning on up anymore. And what has Serral seen that tells him that this is all in? I don't think he's seen the main base or the natural. What has he seen that says, I need 2 spines?
I am not sure, but he is right. He did get a Zergling in just now. Maybe he ran a Zergling in and saw the army. That is the only thing that makes any sense to me. As it is, even with 2 spines, they're only at 1 base. Okay, there we go. He's going to add on another one. This 3rd base is going to be under extreme jeopardy. Ooh. We are seeing a nice little run by coming in. Oh, there is nothing to defend. There is nothing to defend right here. This is going to be a lot of, well, that should be a lot of dead stuff.
Yeah, drones are going to have to be pulled to defend that. And yeah, the queen's going to go down as well, which means less production, right? You need that queen for the inject in on a matchup, on a mirror matchup like this. That is so important. But now Lambo's army is here. He's up about 25 army supply, +1 done for both sides. And look at this. He says, okay, there are 2 spines in the natural. Honestly, if I kill a base, if I wipe down your economy, I'm pretty happy here. So my only goal is to kill something. It doesn't matter if I get into the natural, kill that off. Doesn't matter if I kill the 3rd. If I can knock down some of your army, if I get a base, that is going to be what I'm looking for here. But we already have 2 spines in the 3rd. A 3rd one underway. It's a big surround here from Serral. And it looks like as production happens now, it's only a 20 army supply lead, but the Roaches, the Ravagers are getting on top of things. This spine will never complete as the Biles do land. Serral, he is on death's doorstep. Can he make the whole defender's advantage do what he needs it to do? I am not confident here, Steadfast.
No, the queens are dropping. The spine crawler is helping out a lot, but Serral's reinforcements are kind of cut off. He does have a bunch of roaches popping in and out, and he will reposition one of these spines over to this base. 7 drones have gone down. Lambo, he can start to macro out of this, and that's exactly what he is going to do. He is not going to end the game with this, but puts himself into a pretty decent position. +2 missile does start up for Serral, and roach speed as he realizes he's held. But Lambo, he still puts himself into a good position with that overall. The problem right now for Lambo is his +2 missile is going to be quite delayed. His roach speed is going to be quite delayed. He does have layer far along. It's nearly done. And he did drone up a little bit. Ooh, Serral with a great scout right here.
Serral has no queens on the map. He lost all 3 of them in that defense, which means, yes, there's a Spire on the underway. Fantastic. But Lambo, because of the damage he did, because he reset Serral's army, well, didn't reset Serral's army. In fact, his army got closer to being reset, but he got enough damage. He killed off enough workers. He killed off enough queens. He is going to have so much more production than his opponent will in this game. And look at this. Both players are going Spire. And when you are on 64 workers and you have 6 gas, and your opponent is on 49 workers and only has 4 gas, let me tell you who the better Muta player will be. It's pretty obvious. It's the 6 gas player.
That it is, and we are going to be seeing an aggressive move coming out from Serral. The only thing that is a big problem for Lambo right now, he does not know about his opponent's Spire. And, oh, he canceled it.
Ooh.
Oh, no. Oh, no. This could be disastrous for him. But if he gets aggressive with +1/+1 and roach speed, which he needs to, he might be able to hit before those mutas really get out in big numbers. That being said, nice little run by coming in. Ooh, but Serral going to catch these, Lambo going to catch these roaches. Does lose 3 drones, but if Lambo goes right now, he might still be able to make it happen.
Yeah, you know, the +2, when we're looking at +2 versus 1-1, if we're talking about pure roach fights, absolutely it favors the +2 roach player, just because of how overkill works, because of how the scale of these, of the armies, they do scale. But +1 to Carapace does so much when you're dealing with mutas. It reduces so much damage. It reduces 1 damage right from the first shot, and then reduces more damage from the second shot and the third. It just does so much there. It means the roaches are going to be orders of magnitude tankier as they try to find their way across the map. How many mutas is this? This is 10 mutas here, and that means that, what, 20 army supply of Serral, it's in the sky. It's really not doing all that much. Yes, it will eventually kill off these Ravagers, but if Lambo is just able to hit with the sledgehammer of Zerg with this 1-1 roaches, maybe this is going to be enough here. Yes, notice here Serral, he is targeting down the Ravagers first and foremost. It means the static defense of Serral is even going to be more powerful, but Lambo, he's still milking this 30 army supply lead. He's got a surround on the army on the right-hand side. More and more roaches underway from Serral, and it looks like he's going to have enough to hold. Now it's the question of, does Lambo do enough economic damage? Does he do enough to reset things? And as I say that, actually, he is winning this fight. And that means the third base is going to get broken here. Does he target down the third base, or does he look for more damage? Look like the answer is the latter here, I think. but just barely Serral's gonna have enough to hold. And now Lambo, he's in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, that was him shooting his shot. He needed to hit about 30 seconds to a minute earlier. If he had hit while those mutas were producing, he could have made it happen. As it was, that army value, that army supply lead that he had, it's gone. It is all gone. Serral has equalized this game. Lambo, targeting the one muta, but Serral with some nice micro right there. This will be a hold here for Lambo. He does have Hydras. He does have still a playable situation in this game, and he's actually up in economy. And as you mentioned, that +1 Carapace is going to be very helpful. A couple of changelings coming on in, and it is important to note, Lambo's got a 4th base. He still has a path to victory in this game. But that was a really, really strong situation that unfortunately he wasn't able to take advantage. If he'd seen that Spire, if he'd gotten a scout, I think he probably hits at a timing that either ends this game or puts him into just such a massive lead.
You know, Steadfast, I'm looking at this, and it is going to be Hydra speed before Hydra range in this game. I am almost wondering whether Lambo is just prepping himself for another attack, right? He does not have any additional upgrades underway. He does not have he's got +2 now, I guess, but that is extremely delayed. Serral on the ground is going to have a 2 upgrade lead for a good amount of time in this game. But with Hydra speed, this allows him to actually be active on the map, to move across the map here, and that is exactly what he is doing. We got this big Roach Ravager or Roach Hydra ball on the middle of the map here, but Serral, he's going to absolutely punish any sort of move out here. Roaches on into the 3rd. Mutas are going to look to dive on into the 4th, and now Lambo, he went from being in a fantastic position. He has to go all in here. He's going to take too much damage, and that is exactly what he's doing. The ball moving on in, and hey, Hydra speed, it means you can miss these biles just a little bit. 1-1 Roaches, 1-1 Hydras are actually going to start to beat this army here from Serral. But I'm just looking at this supply. I don't know that even just beating this army is going to be enough. As long as the Hydras go down, the mutas can run back and sweep everything up. That's what's happening. The biles lining on everything. GG Serral, he takes game 1, and Lambo's hopes, they're smashed.
Oh my goodness, this was so close. Lambo, my heart reaches out to him right now, because not only did he have a rough group here, he puts himself into a really, really great situation. A really great situation in this game, number 1, and kind of gives himself a little bit of hope there. But Serral, there is a reason he is the GOAT. We just saw why. He dealt with everything so damn well. Absolutely masterful play, getting scouts at important timings, finding that Spire. If that Spire's not scouted, it's muta versus muta, and as you mentioned, it was 64 drones to 46 or something, or even it might have even been worse than that. But it was 6 gas to 4. No chance to Serral win that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Apparently, one of us said Daryl instead of Serral at some point, or people heard that. I'm just cracked. Yeah, USA Serral or Daryl. Anyway, Twitch chat broke me for a second. It's fine here. Those of you out in the world, I love you. Unless you're talking about Daryl, we don't care about Daryl. It's all about Serral here, and now it's all just for pride, for maybe getting an extra $250, something like that. Yeah, I don't know whether Lambo now, even if he wins, whether he leapfrogs anyone on the bottom side, but at least, yeah, $125 for a show match. And it will be a bit shorter of a map here in this game number 2. That map is Oxide. Let's go.
Absolutely. We've got spawning up in the top right. Immaculate defense, immaculate decision making, amazing comeback from behind. It is Ence's Serral.
And in the bottom left, in the red, fighting for money, fighting for glory, but no spot in the upper bracket, no spot in the upper part of this group anymore. He is for the rebellion, Lambo.
Oh, imagine if Serral hadn't built those spines. That game ends. That game ends right there with that first Roach attack. I'm almost certain of it. Lambo. I will say he should absolutely look at this series and take really feel confident coming out of it, because that was really, really close, and he still took the GOAT to an incredibly close situation. That does unfortunately end his chances. It ensures that he will not be able to make it out, but he's got to still be proud of himself, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Serral there in that game, he was down. He was hurting. He was in a really bad spot after losing those 8 workers. After that push from Lambo, kind of reset things, or it really just put him in a bad spot. But unfortunately, Lambo, I mean, I'm looking at this, I'm like, yeah, it's 6 gases to 4. Both players are going Spire. What a wonderful position to Lambo to find himself in. Then he cancels the Spire. You're like, oh, geez, I don't know what he saw that made him cancel that, but it was not the right move.
It was mind games. It was all mind games. He was hoping that Serral would see the Spire and be like, oh, okay, I'll play, defensive. I'll get Spores. I'll get Hydras. And if Serral had not been going mutas himself, chances are that's probably what we see. And Lambo's push absolutely crushes Serral's skull. Just completely decimates him. But unfortunately, Serral was actually behind, and that actually worked against Lambo. So if Serral was in an even spot, he doesn't have to go for those desperation mutas that ended up being so good, picking off like 8 Ravagers before the fight happened. Something maybe not, but like at least 3 before the fight happened, and probably 8 to 10 in total during the fight. Oh, man. Also, it's important to note the corrosive biles from Serral on the defense against that big Roach Hydra push, they landed home massively.
That, and you want to talk about corrosive biles for a second, Lambo's biles were not paired up appropriately. I don't know if you noticed, but a couple times there, he dropped like 1 bile on a Spire or on a Spine, so it was allowed to heal back up. Once again, we saw Queens transfuse that, and that was such a big deal, right? If you drop your biles appropriately, if you knock down 1 Spine every time, you get 2, 3, 4, maybe more roaches that do not die or don't die as quickly, and on a build as tight as that, absolutely, that's going to be a problem. But look at this here. Serral, he's going for the 26 drone timing. Lots and lots of Lings, some Banes, and Steadfast. This is Europe, but in 20 minutes, we're going to get on into North America. And this is an NA build. This is NA timing here.
Yeah, this is a full NA, full send. Going to be going very, very hard on this. And we're going to be seeing 7 Banelings, 7 Banelings getting morphed. He canceled 1 and then restarted it. That's very weird. +1 Carapace starting up. And we're seeing a 2-base Spire against a very, very aggro move. Oh, there's no energy for transfuse. But he's got Queens in really good positions. Yeah, he needs more wall. He needs more wall.
He needs more wall. Lambo, you need more wall on the right-hand side. The wall is not there. Crackly or Broodlings are maybe going to be enough here. Why are the Zerglings killing the Queens? Just run into the mineral line. Serral, please. But yeah, he will get on in now. Nice positioning from Queen here in the mineral line, but it's not going to matter. Baneling on in, but it's only 1. Here's the second. This is not looking good here for the German Zerg player. Oh, there we go. That's going to do it.
And boom goes the dynamite. Yeah, the natural is broken. Roaches popping out, but they're piecemeal. They don't have their +1 missile. They're on their own. And Serral, he is continuing to keep his foot on the gas pedal. Lambo going to lose 2 more drones right there. More and more roaches are going down. This is looking like it's all over, but the crying at this point. This is... Well, that being said, there are roaches here. There are a fair number. Oh, but they're going to get surrounded off the ramp. Oh, no. And yeah, that's too much. Baneling's finishing on up. Going to make sure the drones cannot help anymore. All the roaches go down. And GG is going to